So I realized I have not really talked about this region. A couple things I realized actually. For sure, the tip of Australia was not over here, it was actually down here. So I guess I'm mistaken that there was a current. What I think was happening is Antarctica had a current go around it that went down this way, down here, and then around Antarctica. So around it, until it hits this corner, and I think that's what this stream we've been analyzing here, where this one comes from. Because I was looking over here, like, wait, like if like it looks like it's coming from like here, like so if I were to like it's pretty much like here, which almost then means it's coming from like here maybe. So maybe this was an outlet or here. Or here. Ooh, maybe this. This looks intense. That's under Africa. So it cut a. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably part of. Right there. Part of the stream that was cutting over here. Because I noticed, like. Here's Australia, but then we kind of get further away, and we can just keep following this to like here, to the point where, well, if it's here, then it's probably like here. So it's probably like we can even see remnants here of this. I would say that's what that is. Like a blowout valve over here. So maybe the pressure was coming in this way, and then it blew out that way. Or it came in this way and out that way even, just like straight through. Because Antarctica must have been attached to Australia, where... Here? Here. Okay. Okay, so it went in here, through, and out here, where Australia was attached. So it went in here. Means it's pretty much from Africa. It's the stream. It's the stream coming straight down this way from between India and Africa, down along Africa, and just into here and here probably, and out over out here. Did I say into here at some point? Maybe. I don't know. Out there, in there at the minimum. Maybe some other ins and outs. It's hard to tell around stuff without significant amounts of data. In terms of which flow was happening here, but it does kind of look arced there. I don't know. That could just be more of a ring structure form, though, and representative of a current flow. Okay, so that's something. I was mistaken. It is not coming in from like here. This whole channel is probably mostly accounted for by this. And then this is probably all accounted for by coming in here from Africa through Antarctica up this way, where it starts to propagate this way, but into the side here. So it starts carving here, leaving a wall. So like this wall makes sense, because it was forming along this here was forming along here. When the pressure was going in here, it was pushing stuff this way along the wall of South America. So it's coming in this way, the pressure, which is interesting. Because I've been thinking it was coming in this way. For sure there's a current coming in through here, exactly through here, which spreads out and causes these mountains. So it's not like it's not coming this way, but apparently there's a pressure here, which probably is why there is like a collision of pressures, because it's generally going this way and down this way, where this pressure is definitely going this way. So like here, maybe it's like a major collision point of the two waves causing over there. I don't know. Because this goes just straight up here. We can kind of see South America's side there, maybe. I thought I saw an imprint. Is this it? Of this? That's probably it. So this here was over here, and then it physically moved over here, or this generally moved over here, whatever, leaving behind this remnants of this and of this, I guess. That is maybe there. Let's check these out. Now that we have some ideas. That's weird. They don't even show the whole thing. Like, what? There's an island here, I swear. It's surrounded by just like bits of ice. Freezing in a polygonal shape. I wanted to look at Tahiti a little more, maybe. Is it over here somewhere? Oh yeah, it's got all these things right at it. Let's look over here too. Okay, these are bubbles that are not filled. Let's follow their trajectory. They seem to have come this way. Maybe. Pretty much from here. But without colliding here. Whereas these ones, this probably collided. Like, this is probably following this path now. Where these ones came from that way. So it didn't collide. Collision path. Non-collision path. Bubbles. Bubbles. Just utterly bubbles. And basic bubbles, I'm sure there's some critical elements, like certain chemical things, like maybe hydrogen here, for instance, or two bonds, or maybe something else, etc. This one's got a certain shape. Truly just bubbles, though, without any real pockets of material. Just kind of crazy. Let's see that one. That one's got material. You know, I was looking at Fiji yesterday. I also realized I kind of casually call Fiji like the entire region. Fiji's so cool. The entire region's so cool. But I was looking here and I noticed this eye thing, and then I noticed, dude, like it looks like a freaking head, like a dragon's head. I guess even the mouth and eye. I think this is the feature. It looked really prominent when I was scrolling in on it. Maybe it must have been there. But then it looks like a body and like wings. And this one looks almost like maybe it could be a inverse one. And I googled it. Here's the eye thing, I think. I don't know. I swear something really looked like an eye, maybe there or there. Or there. Like here's the face, the nose, nostril, eye, eyeball, right there, eye slit. Cave to the dragons and Dragon Slayer. Oh dear. Like horn type things going on. And then body. Let's look around here. So these polygons definitely had material added, which looks like the material most at the center was able to stay. So like I guess like this collided with other polygons, which just stripped away. Like it's like a membrane. I mentioned that. But where the membrane can pass through this membrane, so when it collides, like this membrane starts sweeping over through the polygons, but they meet resistance, so there's like a current flow that creates a boundary where the inflowing polygon shape membrane can just like go right over top some section of polygon, and then it meets enough resistance where it bounces away, but it pulls the new chunks with it. But it seems that's why they're like down the middle here missing. Like that one's gone. That one is just taken. This is all missing though. I assume a particle's colliding with it. Half of this one's missing. One of the polygons colliding. Or even these polygons colliding with other polygons that I'm looking at right now. Crazy. Crazy. Like this one's unevenly, like this side, inside. The inside is not stripped. The outside is stripped. Inside not stripped. Outside all stripped. Yeah. Yeah, dudes. Something to it. Cool. Also, before I forget, I noticed this. I was like, well, maybe I haven't explained everything. And for sure I haven't touched on Madagascar, really. But I did notice it has a inlet stream. So it's probably good to just bring attention to for a split second. Like, this side's all blue. So this current that was probably flowing out of somewhere here, maybe even here. I think it was up here. It's hard to say. It was also up here by Dwarka, pretty much. But I think it came in, and by getting through the polygon here, it just kind of shoved it out to a degree. So maybe it was here. It does look like it. I know it's understood where it was from. Was it there? I'm not sure. Or up there. I'm just not sure off the top of my head. It looks more like it fits in there. Right there. So it probably was from right there and slid that way. Let's see. So there was probably a current coming this way. Like here. This one maybe. Cutting across to enter into Madagascar where it met a resistance of the polygon. Which then just kind of fanned it out. And then the resistance this way met the resistance this way, so it was equilibrium here. I still don't know what to make of all these either. I was thinking about that earlier. It's like, well, what can I do now? I've really covered a bunch of things on Earth to the point where I'm like, that's explained, that's explained. At least to a degree where like like a general answer is explained. Like, where did this come from? 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 I don't know if I really quite answered this part, but this part I felt real confident about. By the way, this part is from a current coming this way, running into a current coming this way. So here's the current coming this way. Oh, this huge current across here, up above this boundary, up across here, and then it heads out into the Pacific here, where it collides with this current and produces this region here. And so for sure, the collision of this current with this current causes the current going from east to west here to be deflected upward by this current, so it bend, but then it runs into resistance. It like lodges. This current physically stretches the gap to here to a point where it physically is connected energetically. Like this current is pressing against this, but there is a bond across here, so it doesn't really move. Like this current could have been overwhelmed, so it moved down here until it was like stretched out here, and this one just overwhelmed it. But because it had this like stable point, it just kind of produced this feature, which then dripped off all this material in the current, which maybe this current overwhelmed. Like this came this way. Maybe that's what's happening. Up here it overwhelms and just drops down this way. So there's some current coming this way. And so maybe in a similar vein somehow the current that got over is coming downward, colliding with this upward, like projecting current, producing another boundary between them, which is Hawaii, and Hawaii is fed by a 90-degree angle from this feed point maybe, or something of that nature that makes it more energetically fed. I don't know why. Just a thought. So if this energy though is coming from down here pretty much across here through it, dude, that would suggest that Fiji had energy going like across its extensions through it and out the other side kind of thing. So maybe across here and out this way, leading to a current outflow that was just tapped into by these bubbles, making it easier to take the energy exchange. Like, what is going on here? There's another bubble that's filled. Oh yeah, those ones. There's really not any other bubbles in here. Let's see. Hard to tell. There was one over here. Trying to see if any of the bubbles within this region are not filled with material. This one's kind of still bubbly, but filled with material to a point where maybe this is volcanic. New. Tonga's most active volcano, with at least 10 periods of activity, is active between Fiji and Samoa. Probably this one. Although maybe not, that could be. Let's look at this a little better. There's Tahiti, so maybe it doesn't show all those. Here's Tahiti. Yeah, maybe it shows them. Something there. Nothing especially circular. Also, this is probably not exactly overlaid. Like, this might even be directly over Fiji, in truth. Like, Fiji may be directly over this. To a point where, like, a spiral occurred here. I wonder if there's a second snake, like, head here that comes down this way and goes out that way. If that doesn't make sense, there's, like, little snake heads I've noticed that goes around and then I said this way. And then has these little eddies of circles with these little notches on the outside and wing type things here. But maybe this one also is another one that goes out that way. So there's one this way that's kind of hugging the inside here. And then a second one hugging the outside of it. Because the image I was comparing this to has 4 of this feature. two positive, 2 negative. So here's 2 positive or 2 negative. I mean, so here's and then 1 positive. Maybe there's another positive somewhere that kind of branches around the other positive. So maybe there's just 2 intermixed in here because this kind of looks like a mess. It would be cool to find like really telling things about like ancient imagery in something of that nature. Okay, what else? I think I could probably say that's cool. I added something. I don't feel like I'm making quite as much progress lately with this. Like I got the low-hanging fruits. Now it's starting to get a little more tedious to look through this. Not that it's not obviously hugely worth it, but it's just getting a little more tedious to find the nuances. I'm sure there's something of significance here. I just gotta keep doing it. Like, I've made so much progress, like, throughout the process. Now I know confidently this was attached to here. Probably just across here was, like, all northern Australia. I was thinking this wrapped around it to go here, but this was probably not. This was down all the way down here, really attached to across here to here, or to here even. I don't know. Or here is attached here, right here, pretty much. So the current's coming this way. So maybe the current was just deflecting around here somehow into here. But to deflect that current would take a hell of a, like, that would carve it into this a lot. Deflecting that current, so unfortunately Antarctica is very minimally mapped for this. And in general, like, we just lack data on Antarctica, probably because it's where the Truman Show headquarters is. So we can't really show everyone. Okay, okay. So maybe there was a current coming this way, which would actually make sense because here's Madagascar's previous location, and then just moved up with this current. So there's a current kind of maybe going there from the tip that was able to get down here and just kind of push that way, I guess. I don't know. Where other currents from here maybe went more around it, like perhaps this current coming in here kind of found like the channel at the very edge and went around it. That came down here where there was like a cross flow, because there is a current coming down this way that this blocks, that comes in here, but then it runs into these currents. This current cutting across, which is really just off the tip here. So it either gets like pushed out, stuff comes out, or it goes over this way. Like pushed out. But it also comes this way. Crazy. It's crazy. I don't. Crazy. Crazy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can like explain with this model right now. That looks kind of eye-like. Maybe where the phi ratio is now kind of focused at is this thing. More bubbles. Somewhere right here I find that China's attempts at islands. Whoa. More bubbles that got filled with material. So I guess the bubbles themselves just come out of here and bring material with them. When there's pressure pushing the bubbles out. It's really like an outgassing, just an outgassing of a bubble, but it contains an island. Whoa, what kind of bubble does that? It's just carved in half and in half again and half again, just dissecting the bubble. Dude. Okay, okay. I think I'm really hitting a wall with this like underground science. I really definitely need to spend more time researching now than I was. Like I was able to just make videos, be like, and this. I'm just like, cool, what about this? Like I look at it. Oh, new explanation of a feature. Like a good one too, a lot of the times. Like the actual one, probably a lot of the times. Unknown actual one, a lot of the times. It's just casually like, oh, look at that. But now I'm kind of running out of those things, and maybe it's not just a sign. It's just a sign that I need new information to continue this process. This map has certainly. I mean, I'm positive it has other kernels of just insanely useful information because of the fact that I haven't finished really looking at all the nuances of it all. But and it has obviously been very revealing. But I do think it's kind of run its course on its capacity to shed light on things to a point where it's kind of cooling off. Like the supernova event that was happening is now past the. Let's pull up my channel. Content 20th. 14th. So about a week. This week, especially here. From, I mean, pretty much from the whole thing. The whole week is just an utter supernova event occurring. And now it's kind of dying off and reaching a new equilibrium because the input of this map is like no longer funneling energy into me, information into me, causing nova events to transform my understanding, the landscape of my understanding over and over again. Now it's kind of cooled off and the landscape is stabilizing, but I'm still wanting more change of my constant my understanding, like a greater understanding. I still want more understanding because I feel like I haven't quite done whatever it is I'm like meant to do. It's like the thing that like the straw that breaks the camel's back on like the tyranny of the world, like finally gives us a like actual like, oh, maybe there is another path that we can actually take. Rather than like the straw that breaks the camel's back, because everyone's doing so great and I just keep piling like wrong things on. No, finally corrects the fucking wrongs. So there's a boundary here. This boundary, I'm just thinking, it's definitely related to the fact that there's a current coming in this way that then hits this boundary and kind of deflects up. So it kind of squeezes in here, squeezes in, and just makes a boundary here with this current and this current. And I guess this like it produces a little basin here that then allows current in until it reaches a point of having too much, and then it just kind of blow out valves places probably where then like it. That's what I really like the blowout valve aspect of the Earth's crust because it will physically heal itself by the back pressure when there's current. Like if there's not too much pressure here, it will blow out, but then this pressure will heal it. And then the pressure will build and it'll blow out, and this pressure will heal it, and then the pressure will build and it'll blow out, and this pressure will heal it. I like how the Earth does that naturally. Probably some technology just waiting to happen in its features of this nature. Some combination of blowout valves, current, directional paths, current collisions. Like here's a current collision with this current underneath, between layers and contained. Like it can't like just bounce off, it has to collide. It's colliding, it's like stuck in there. There's too much other pressures that are pushing, like making it so it can't just bounce this way. Like it really is kind of getting pressured into this and into here from the outside pressures to basically combine with that current. Otherwise, I just kind of be like, oh, there's a current here, I'll go this way and this way. And just not combine. But because there's enough pressure, it allows for that. Okay, dude skis. We made some advancements. I'm not sure where. We at least realized that this came from down here, and I was a fool all along. And if you noticed early on in the series, before I pointed it out, then bravo, and pardon me. Feel free to take the mic from me at your leisure. I'm taking the mic for now, though. I've called out Twitter. Flip the table. I'll break these fucking shackles into pieces. Don't ask me why. They are the only ones who can tell you their own reasoning for dismissing me when I've approached them while the world burns and they hold their control of the microphone. For certain, it's because of my attitude. So maybe I can also tell. But I can't really tell why, even in spite of the fact that I'm telling them the truth. My attitude is so overwhelming that they won't fucking interact with me and make my attitude more attitudey. You know, it's really comes down to like it's your own fucking misconceptions when you encounter me, whoever is holding the microphone. That makes it so you're not like openly talking to me and creating this boundary between us. Cause like, see this boundary? Let's find the boundary. Let's find that boundary I was just talking about. This boundary. See, there's a current coming this way and a current going this way. So I'm like kind of going this way to like the nucleus. This current's just kind of fucking spiraling out of control to create chaos over here. And it goes this way and it collides with this current, making a wall, a boundary, so that the currents don't even interact with each other anymore. It's kind of sad when the currents stop interacting and they create these boundaries between one another. Then the pressure builds, things start exploding to remove the boundaries that we place between ourselves because unfortunately, I mean, the truth and false assumptions don't mesh well. It's just a fact. It's like 2 plus 2 equals 4 does not mesh well with 2 plus 2 equals 5. It's that. They don't mesh well. They're not the same. This one's like, dude, you're wrong. And the other one's right. See how it makes people mad to be told they're wrong, though, when they are wrong. It's just a topic that's not as simple as 2 plus 2 equals 4, so it becomes offensive because we've accepted 2 plus 2 equals 5 to the point where we love that 2 plus 2 equals 5. Oh, this 2 plus 2 equals 5 explains so many things. Like, it explains why 5 exists because there's 2 and 2, and when they add together, there's 5. And also, it explains why there's so much coincidence and erosion and time in the world because those are the only other things. 2 plus 2 equals 5, so therefore, ergo, time plus erosion plus coincidence. It's simple. Why is this dude trying to say 2 plus 2 is 4 and like my answer of time plus erosion plus coincidence is not valid? He seems to be saying invalid as if my answer isn't just like not the best answer, it's wrong. When it's a good answer, I'm really confident it's a good answer. It's a good answer. It's a good answer. Maybe truth hurts donut. Donut Earth. See the donut opening? All the currents are going into the donut opening right there. Donut opening into Donut Earth. Right into here. I don't know why. Where it goes. Energetically, it seems like it should have like a downward, like a deep black crevice there. Something should be going on, but maybe the current just doesn't. At that point, it really didn't go into the nucleus, or the pole. Maybe it just kind of carved across. Like I was thinking, the shallogram here. Maybe we can find some more. Let's look at shallograms. This one, it has this little feature across it. This like there was a current that like went from here to here, like across it. So I was kind of wondering if Earth maybe that like right here is kind of like it. Let's see. Shalograms with holes at top or something. Chakra. It's called a chakra. Okay, let's go maybe his. He might have a category. Or them. Maybe not his, they. Here's another one. Harry Hera. Maybe. Is like the variety type. Whoa. How cool is that? Like how... Was that truly not gonna work? Okay, it worked. This one doesn't have quite the distinct spiral coming out of it as that other one. Like it has a spiral coming out of the other one. Let's see. Look at that bad boy. Hold. This one looks like it might have some curvatures coming out of it at least. That it doesn't really spiral though. Let's go back. This is pretty much what I mean. Maybe I can look at this one. See how it has that same nook right there. This one straight up goes into it. Yeah, to a tiny little node. I was real curious about that one I saw. Okay, let's click this. Let's go ahead and open it. So this right here tends to have like the one let's pull up this one, Shalogram. Also has this like missing chunk right there. Right over top of it. This chunk. Let's see, is that common? Like here? This one's got that feature too. Kind of. I mean, it looks like that's a missing chunk too. It was somewhat related to the fact that this one is positioned there due to energy flows in some way that I don't quite understand yet, but I would say are just like standard operating procedure of physics. Like that's just how energy flow. It's so smooth. Really doesn't have the spiral that I noticed on the other one. On any of these. It just probably takes the right conditions. This was the one I was like, whoa. These are all crazy. Like, there, that's cool. Let's check out that one though. Oh yeah, he doesn't even have the same items necessarily. Also, I played the sound of a video the other day and it was real loud. I was like, ah. side. Like, what? There's not even like a chakra thing here. It's just gone. And then this one, like these two. How did these two happen? They're literally part of one another. This one's a little less prominently obvious than the other ones I've referenced, but it's still one of those circumstances, like right there, like that is too smooth. It's too, like, it formed that way. Look at that little chakra. Oh my god, it's so little. Little wee little guy. Carving along the edges, especially the far edge. Looks like not as much here as the far edge. Here we can see a little point at the far edge there. Looks like it's carving out here, but it's really most of the current's probably still going here and just going along the edge as it extends to the next segment. And then over, like, as it empties this, like, region, just like Australia, as it empties this nucleus that was here, it emptied it, just kind of shoves it away. Probably all this material is at least in part from it, maybe not all, but some of it. And takes this material and moves it away, but then it leaves behind some material at the end of the spiral. Probably related. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to get too caught up on these. I'll probably just stop this video real soon, but I believe I've just been... These are interesting. I don't know what's going on with those. I thought they were stones before, but like stone seeds, literally like a fruit of the stone. But they're not. They're just called stone fruit, but they're... Although maybe, like in some dimensional thing. This one looks a lot like the one I have. In terms of just like a bunch of things on it and a couple chakras. Let's see, product category, shallograms. I think I can find, oh yeah, let's go to big. Auspicious is good because it tends to be, yeah, I got most of these photos probably. Like, that's crazy. Egg. It's an egg. How epic is that? So it's probably like one of those ones that the thing spirals out of, but it just didn't. It just gushed out. Like, there's an opening there, an opening over here. I saw it. Wasn't there a picture in someone's hands? There it is. Okay, so it's probably like pretty big, at least 6 inches tall, maybe. This is like straight up an egg. It'd be so cool if dinosaurs had hatched out of these things. Or dragons. Dragons is what I meant. This was like a dragon egg that required like the right input to hatch it. Not sure what to make of this, really. I guess it's just oozing out of cracks along the way. These are like large igneous provinces, maybe, would be a good representation. let's go back. That one, this one's really useful. I need that one because I've come across that type of sidebar a lot. Like, let me pull it up. Here, this sidebar thing that's really prominent is not always there, but like really prominent on this one. Wow, this one's beautiful, and it's got a, that's I think I'm on 80, 79A. I can't not have all of the, like that angle of it too to show that this rock has that angle of it too. Like, let's see. Okay, I got those angles. So let's look in here a little bit. That looked a little better. I think that's generally what happens. Is it has like it's a large sphere. So if we look at Fiji, like there was a larger sphere maybe. That might even just be here, like there. The original nucleus. I forgot quite what I was talking about. Oh yeah, and then as it goes through the like several decays, not just one. Like Australia went through a decay sequence, then probably like this compresses. There's just pressure and a rotation in here that's causing the material to like the flow to get in between the layers and strip layers off, and then it's a new stable particle. Like it stripped the top off, so then there's just a particle remaining at the center, like a core that's fine. But then, like if the pressures are still there, then it gets into that thing, stretches it out, removes another layer, causes another feature out here like this, the gold stuff, which is definitely like supernova. This one's so prominent. It's so like distinct boundary of it there. Maybe related to why this is there or that it is there. So cool. This is not common to have those. They probably shed light. It probably sheds light. I guess I can take the picture of that one too. 79. Let's see. And then just this. Why not? Just to show it has that little thing in it in case it ever matters when I'm looking at this rock again. Like, oh, that does blah 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 blah. Okay. But like this one, this is probably a good example. Let me just open it. This one too. Of a particle that had like its outer portion stretched away from it, like, and sprayed out onto the sides here, so that a new nucleus was formed. It's pretty much a radioactive decay sequence, I guess, like a changing of the particles, like element. Can kind of see the new nucleus in there. So I'm sure better images that actually show like a nice stable looking nucleus, and then just some shit out here that was just like chaos. Let's look at this one. Next page. This one seems to have strong explosiveness, like totally missing, just redistributed everywhere else. No particle whatsoever left. At least not in this dimension. Like it redistributed into subtler dimensions at that point. Particle, compressed particle, compressed, even more compressed. Like this one looks like it just needed a stream to actually get inside this to like pull it away from the core to then splatter it, but it stayed stable as it is. How cool are these? I could look at these all day. Like this one. Oh, dear God. They're just too epic sometimes. Let's see this one. 325,000 rupees. It's probably just huge. Yeah, it's huge. I thought, hey, look at those polygons. Polygons all over it. Polygon, polygon, polygon. Polygon within the polygon. Polygon, polygon, polygon. I don't know. Polygon, polygon, and polygon, and polygon, 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 polygon. Okay. Let's see. Okay, cool. This one, in case anyone's curious, I'll just show it because it's so cool. It's so cool. I took a bunch of these pictures. Let's go back to Shalagram. Okay. Ain't that something right there? That right there. Okay. This is interesting. The inner chambers are more like the nucleus and then like a intermediary portion where they're kind of voids and then more dense. Like a inner nucleus, intermediary portion where there are more voids and then more dense. I was like, what was I looking at? Another hexagon type thing. Bunch of polygon type things. With upwelling mantle between look type thing. How cool are these? I know some of these, if I click these, like this is a category, so like if I click this one, it might not even have that rock. But we can see other ones that have other features of those, like, whatever's going on here. Where it just, I guess, there's an intrusion of material into the rock some reason. This is cool. I wonder if that has a spiral out from it. Nothing detectable. It would be crazy if it had like a subtle, like like North American coastline. And this is where it goes off to Canada. Just by like standard formation processes that Earth mimicked as well. Whatever. Okay. I think I've kind of paused on shallograms enough here. If you guys want to check them out, this is definitely one of my. Here, Etsy. I found him from Etsy. So if I just go. Oh my god. Let's pause and click this. Polygon. We can see a polygon right there that's filled with like water almost. It's not a. Or some material that's so crystalline that it becomes water-like relative to like what is Earth-like here. These things are insane. They're so little. Like, look at this fingernail. This is $1,500. I mean, it is epic. Oh my god. I want to live somewhere I can find shit like this, and I'd be out there fucking. Then again, there's other stuff in Florida I could probably find if I cared, so maybe not. Okay. So if I type Shaligram, though, Shaligram, this place has. Etsy's definitely one of the better places. Like there's his shop. Most recent. Let's see if there's any new ones. I've seen all these. I caught up on the online Shaligrams, so maybe that one's new. These are too standard that I don't even care. I got a couple of this type. This one I like because it's too expensive, but it's got that bar. Pardon me, maybe it's not too expensive. I don't mean to judge its price. Maybe the craftsmanship here should be accounted for too. Is that a dragon? The way the world works is too crazy, dudes. It's literally a dragon. Like straight up, that is a dragon. It's not like some other creature, the kind of dragon like that's meant to be a dragon. And with a bar galaxy, like perfect bar galaxy.